Lock and Loop grease coupler is compatible with any grease gun. It works up to 10,000 psi, so no matter if you're using a cordless grease gun or a manual grease gun, no matter how much pressure it puts out, the Lock and Loop grease coupler is going to grab onto those grease fittings, it's not going to leak, and it's not going to pop off. This means that you have both your hands free to operate the grease gun, and you don't have to worry that grease is going in, not on your machine. The Lock and Lube grease coupler is compatible with any grease gun. In order to install the coupler, simply take your existing coupler and unscrew it, which may require some pliers if it's on there tightly. Grab your Lock and Lube grease coupler and simply thread it on. You can use some thread tape if you'd like. Screw that on. The flat edges there are perfect for a wrench. Tighten it up, and it's as simple as that. Now you're ready to grease with your existing grease gun and the Lock and Lube grease coupler. In order to attach the Lock and Lube grease coupler, you simply push down the thumb lever, and then the jaws fit over the top of the Zerk fitting. Once it's on there, it doesn't leak and it doesn't pop off. Even if I pull as hard as I can, that coupler does not move. When I'm done greasing, simply push down the thumb lever and pulls right off. Now if you have a grease fitting that's recessed in a hole or behind a shield, you can grab onto that Zerk, let go, and you know that the grease is going in, not on your machine. When you're done, push down the thumb lever, and even at pressures of up to 10,000 psi, the coupler will release from those fittings, and you don't have to worry about cracking it off to the side. It pulls straight back. In order to release the Lock and Lube grease coupler from a grease fitting, all you have to do is push down the thumb lever and simply pull it straight back. Unlike your traditional grease coupler, where you may have to crack it off to the side and fight with it if it's in a recessed or deeply set back fitting, with the Lock and Lube coupler, push down and it pulls right off. And now we'll demonstrate getting the grease coupler up to pressure and then disconnecting from this grease fitting at 10,000 psi. We've got the Lock and Lube coupler hooked up to our 20-volt cordless grease gun, and we're going to connect it now. You'll notice that this is a closed system, so when we do disconnect it, all the back pressure from the grease hose and inside our gauge is going to come out and create a wad of grease. The purpose here is to show you that even at 10,000 psi, the coupler does not leak and it does not pop off, and it's also easy to remove the coupler even at that extreme pressure. There we go, 10,000 psi. There are no leaks. The coupler is not popping off, and it's working exactly as it should. And now to remove it, I simply push down on the thumb lever, and off it comes. Even on recessed grease fittings, the Lock and Lube grease coupler is easily going to grab onto that fitting, and once it's on, you can feel that it's tight and it's not going to pop off. We'll put a few pumps of grease in there, and there we go. When I'm done, pull it back. Easy, no mess at all.
Hi guys, John here with Lincoln Industrial, bringing you the latest tips and troubleshooting advice for our products. In today's video, we're going to show you the proper procedure to load a grease cartridge and prime a grease gun. Whether you have a lever or pistol grip manual gun, pneumatic or power lube or electronic grease gun, the priming process is the same for them all. If this is the first time using your gun, begin by unthreading the grease tube assembly from the head of the grease gun. Next, pull down on the T-handle and using the notch in the rod, lock it into the tube end cap. Tube is now ready to accept the cartridge. Before inserting the cartridge, inspect for any dents or crushed ends. Do not use tubes if these issues are found, as they may cause the follower assembly to hang up in the tube or cause lubricant bypass behind the follower. Also be sure to follow the instructions on the tubes. Many of the reputable manufacturers will designate which end of the cartridge should be inserted into the grease gun tube assembly first. Once the cartridge is seated in the tube, pull the tab or remove the male plug from the exposed end and thread the tube assembly back onto the head of the gun. When the tube assembly is fully tightened, release the plunger rod from the end cap notch. This allows the spring to push up on the follower assembly and apply pressure on the grease in the cartridge. At this point, there will be a decent sized air pocket between the cartridge and gun head inlet we need to remove, and this can be accomplished in two ways. First method uses the installed filler bleeder valve or vent valves located on the heads of many of our grease guns. Open the ports a few turns and allow the air to vent until grease expels from the threads or vent port. After grease begins to flow from the ports, tighten the valves back up and cycle the gun. Second method was meant mainly for grease guns without vents, but does apply as an alternate priming method for all our grease guns. Unthread the grease tube assembly 1 to 2 turns to allow the air pocket to escape through the threads between the grease gun head and tube assembly. You may expedite either process by locking the plunger rod into the follower assembly so more pressure may be applied to the grease in order to force the air out the vent or tube assembly threads. Stop when you see either grease expel from the threads or vent, or the rod has no more forward movement. Once complete, tighten the tube to the head or close the vent and cycle the gun. With the air bled and grease flowing correctly from the coupler, apply a small amount of pressure to the plunger rod and twist until the rod freely slides into the grease tube assembly. With the rod in place and out of the way, the gun is ready for use. A few points to consider concerning the lubricant when operating your grease gun. If the lubricant you are using is very tacky or thick, this process may take a little longer. This is especially true if working in a cold environment. Some greases tend to flow slower than normal and possibly lead to loss of prime. In this case, cycle your gun slowly, allowing for full strokes of the handle for manual units, reduce your air pressure down if using a pneumatic gun, or set electronic power lubers to the low setting, and allow a little more time for the grease to enter the chamber. If necessary, pre-pack the gun head to leave as little of an air pocket as possible, then follow the final priming steps to reprime your gun, and you'll be ready to go. That'll do it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at the information below. Also, please be sure to check the video description for additional information and links to our website. If you like this video and would like to see any future tutorials and relevant Lincoln product information, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to receive a message when we upload new and exciting videos. I am John with the Lincoln Tech Support Team. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Are you tired of the time it takes to blow or towel dry your hair, only to spend way too much money on products that still leave you frizzy, frazzled, and all around fed up? Aquas Original Lease and Waffle hair towels may be the solution you've been waiting for. It's no secret that blow dryers can damage your hair, but you may be surprised to learn that your ordinary towels do too. When your hair is wet, it's vulnerable. Cotton or terry fiber towels are sewn with loops that catch and snag your vulnerable hair, causing it to frizz and break. Additionally, they are less absorbent and take a lot longer to rub dry, ultimately tangling your hair. Aqua's hair towel's super absorbent fabric is woven from ultrafine fibers to create a lightweight material with superior water wicking capabilities. That means with Aquas, you can dry your hair to a perfectly damp state, ready for styling, while eliminating the damage caused by cotton towels or blow drying your temporarily weakened wet hair. The result? Shinier, less frizzy hair and fewer split ends. Comfortable to wear, Aqua's Original Lease and Waffle hair towels for thicker hair wrap easily around your hair and stay put, enabling you to go about your day while they work their drying magic. Drying to dampness in half the time compared to a cotton towel, it's ready for blow drying and styling in minutes without the tangles, snarls, and snags. Our hair towels also use less water, detergent, and energy while laundering and dry quickly between uses. So stop damaging your hair. Instead, keep your hair healthy at the source with Aqua's Original Lease and Waffle hair towels. A better way to care for your hair. Order yours today.